is off in style.
He had the strike on 99.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cricket Castaway. I'm Nishant. I'm joined by Divyansh, your two favorite cricket podcast hosts. Today, this week, it's all gonna be really special because of the Border Gavaskar Trophy that we're gonna talk about. But first of all, hi Divyansh, how are you? And are you excited or not?
Yes, definitely. You can comment on that with the fact that my wake up time has been pushed little earlier due to the timings of the BGT, and instead of 8:39, I'm regularly switching on my television around 7:50, 7:55 just to catch on what's happening, because the action is so hardcore, and the tension that has built up on day one itself, it's electrifying, and really sets up the path for rest of the series, and really excited to see how it all goes down.
Yeah. Similar to you, I mean, I'm really excited. Obviously, waking up times have changed a bit, but all for the right cause, I guess. So Divyansh, and for our audiences as well, they should know this is like the day 2 of the first test is right now going on. It's only just begun at the time of recording this. So we have a fair idea about where the match is, since the first day was so dramatic in itself. But keeping that aside, uh, as if we didn't have this information already, uh, what kind of a media pressure were this team under when they landed in Australia because of the historic defeat against New Zealand and all the pressures that come with it? What would have been the mindset of these players?
Definitely, I think they would have felt that pressure while stepping onto the Australian soil, because like it's been ages since someone has come to Indian shores and just whitewashed them and just outsmarted them completely, beaten in all three departments. Like it's like a wake up call, which is harsher than usual. So I think this might have really shook them to the core, and kind of also given the coaching staff, Gautam Gambhir and Mone Mokal, also some kind of a thought-provoking sessions that how should we approach from here on now. Because before this series, they were pretty sure of securing a spot in the Test Championship final, and now it all hinges on this series, that they have to win at least 4 matches out of 5 to secure that spot, and otherwise they will have to rely on a lot of permutations and combinations which comes out of the others test matches. So it's huge pressure, and it may be a positive in the hindsight, because since 2018 India has toured Australia, they have found their backs against the walls, and then they have the way they have responded to that pressure has been stupendous, and they have come out all guns blazing. So I'm hoping and looking at the positive side here.
I mean, just the manner in which that defeat came against New Zealand, it was really unexpected. I don't think, apart from us who were constantly saying that don't underestimate New Zealand, don't take this side lightly, they're a bogey team for us. But everywhere in the social media or the traditional media or everywhere, it was just like it's a given that we are going to win the series 3-0. I mean, there was no other possibility. So when we lost that series 3-0, as I'm sitting right now, the realist in me is saying that WTC final is over. I don't think there's any chance that we can actually be there in the final. Let's see what happens. I hope I'm wrong. uh, because I don't actually believe we are gonna win like 4-0 or 4-1 in Australia. I don't think that's going to happen. The players are fresher than us. They may not have as much cricket that our guys have played over the past few months. They have been resting a bit. But that's only for me the first test. I mean, once these boys get into the rhythm, Bumrah will be cooked by the end of the third test. Uh, it's gonna be really tough for our boys. That's what I feel. And if we don't end up being in the WTC final and we don't win this series, I think Gautam Gambhir will be in shitloads of pressure.
Yeah, definitely, because he was handed a team that was doing really well, and they were on top of their game in test as well as even in the ODI. So I think the pressure and all the eyes scrutinizing their ways, the methodology and the mindset of the team, like all floodgates will open if we do not make it to the finals of the World Test Championship, which is happening in England during the month of June. So yeah, they all would be hoping that we outdo ourselves in this series and just somehow make our way into this. And but there are practical challenges in that, because the over reliance of the pace attack on Bumrah will definitely show its true colors in the fourth and fifth test, because right now Bumrah is on fire, but it's a matter of how long he can sustain this performance, because it's a lot of pressure, bowling 10, 12, 15 overs every innings, or even more than that. It's 10 only, because this time Australia bundled out quickly, but when they try to dig it out to play out the crucial situations, then it would be more than 20, and then that takes a toll on a bowler like Bumrah, and he's not getting any younger. He has already touched 30, so it would be tough for him to come back every time with the same amount of zeal, same amount of motivation, and same amount of venom in the balls. So it would be tough. Only thing that can happen is I think maybe if Mohammad Shami joins the squad in test number 3, then it can be like a lifesaver for the pace
Exactly. This is what I was about to interrupt as well. A lot of people are saying, if you ask me, that by the time Bumrah decides to take a rest, probably in the third test match, or probably he plays the first 3 and takes the rest in the fourth, by that time Shami would be available, so he can take over. But as far as I have seen Shami in the last 10 or 12 years, he's like an old diesel engine, right? He needs a fair few games under his belt before he actually is the Shami that we know. I mean, World Cup was completely different. He came out of nowhere into an ODI tournament and just lit it up. But playing in Australia against these class batters, Steve Smith is not going to get out on a first ball duck in this series at least. So I think even if Shami comes back, replacing Bumrah is not going to be easy for Shami. That is going to be a big loss for us whenever that happens. Before that, ideally, we should win at least one test match, if not 2. But I think a lot here depends on our batters, and they now need to pull their weight. I mean, bowlers are not going to bail you out of every situation that comes in your way.
Definitely. The batting team has to weigh in. They have to provide them the extra cushion of 50, 60 more runs that are required to defend against a team like Australia. So they have to do a bit extra, because their pace attack will be tiring through the course of this test series, and they cannot every time expect from Bumrah to come out and just take a fifer in 10 overs or so. So that's not going to happen every time. So they have to pull their weight, especially guys like Virat Kohli. And since Rohit Sharma is joining the team on Sunday, so he also has to make some amends in the way he opens, like
Yeah.
to play out first 10 overs and then
Hmm.
switch into the attacking
Yeah.
mode that he relies on heavily.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bowlers, specifically Bumrah, but our entire bowling unit has been fairly consistent and really good in the past year and a half. Um, I think Virat in this team is the only batter who, apart from Rishabh Pant, he did it in a couple of test matches in a historic series, but Virat has been doing that in Australia for a long time.
Yes.
I think a lot depends on him. He will be actually judged on this series now, because before that, whatever stage of the career he was in, there was nobody who ever questioned Virat Kohli, and there couldn't be anyone because he was just sublime. But now the last few years haven't been that great for him. Even he realizes that, everyone realizes that he needs to deliver in this series any which way. If he doesn't, I think it'll be really hard for the management to justify him for the England series coming in the next year.
Yeah, definitely, because guys like Sarfaraz are really knocking on the door, and we
Yeah,
also have Shreyas Iyer striking double hundreds in the Ranji matches. So there is young potential who can be given a longer rope if
yeah,
you see someone who is at the fag end of their career and is not able to deliver consistently. So it's not like
yeah,
a few months we are seeing Kohli
yeah,
disappearing from the uh, pitches, like in a moment of uh,
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
it also shows into his average, like after 2018, 2019, the kind of failures he has faced, it has brought down his uh, career test average from 50
yeah,
to 53 to down to 47 now. So it's not really a great
yeah,
sign for the upcoming future.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, specifically in the media, are saying that he doesn't look bad while getting out. So he's in form. He's just getting great balls to get out. I mean, I feel Kohli is such a perfect batsman that he'll never look bad getting out. But yeah, past 3-4 years, I mean, two odd centuries here and there. Uh, that's if you want to be a number one test side and play test championships consistently, your number four needs to score a lot more runs. And his first 10 years, first 8 years in the international cricket were very good, and obviously he was the deserved captain and he changed the face of Indian cricket. But last 4 years haven't really justified, and yeah, he needs to deliver, otherwise it can be a sad ending to a great story.
Yeah, definitely. You're very true about the point on the number four. Your number four is the best batsman you have got in the side, and if you look at the historical data as well as right now the top teams, look at Kane Williamson, look at Joe Root, look at Steve Smith. They are consistently performing way above what Virat Kohli has done in the last
Yeah,
5 years. So that
yeah,
itself translates
yeah,
uh, into the success of a test team. And it's just that we have got someone or the other who has put their hands up at the time, or
yeah,
at the time when it was required. So we have kind of able to to sustain the performance even without Kohli, even with
yeah,
Kohli underperforming. So but that
yeah,
is not going to last very long.
yeah. And I think the same will go out for Rohit as well. I mean, this is if we end up losing this one, I think that's expected. If we end up badly losing this one, I mean, then Gambhir obviously will be in question, but also Rohit, because Virat, we have talked like for now 3-4 minutes about him and what has been happening in the last 4 years. Rohit is even worse. I mean, this man is not able to score a single run, man. And he needs to now not only be a great captain, which he is, but give us the opening starts with what's needed in Australia. Get the ball old. Let Virat Kohli for once come at when you're at least at the 30 or 40 over stage. and not in the first 6 overs. When the ball is a bit old, the shine is gone. I mean, that's Rohit's job. I don't know why he plays the way he does these days.
Yeah, definitely, it's understandable in limited overs cricket, but in Test cricket you can take your time. It's you are not in a hurry
When
to
when
just
when most of the games are finishing in 3 days, they're not even
yeah
lasting 4 or 5 days, and then
yeah.
you're
So
not
there
willing to
is
take
no
the
hurry.
time.
Yeah, there's no power play restrictions that are getting implemented in Test cricket any
Yeah,
sooner.
man.
So what's the hurry? So I don't understand if you can take some time and stay, look at how the ball
Yeah,
is behaving, how the pitch is responding.
yeah,
I think it's just a shift required. Uh, but the thing is, I don't see any technical challenges in case of Rohit Sharma, like in case
yeah,
of Virat Kohli. Like he is equally bothered by pace as well as spin. So the
yeah.
challenges are bigger in case of Virat Kohli, and in case of Rohit Sharma, it's just a mindset shift that yes, I can take some time in Test cricket. Nobody is the world
I
is
mean,
not ending in 10 overs. So
I'll agree if a player like Yashasvi is going through this. I mean, he's been brought up playing T20 cricket, and this man is spending time on the wicket. And the guy who was brought up on Test cricket and one day cricket, now he's in the T20 mode and just not willing to give it up. I mean, yesterday I was watching the Crick Buzz one episode, so with Harsha and Adam Gilchrist. And
yes,
Gilchrist was saying the same thing. He said that probably the T20 mindset has not taken over the players even in the test format, and they're not able to get out of it, and that's why the matches aren't lasting more than 3 or 4 days. And it's absolutely correct, because a guy like a Pujara or a Ajinkya Rahane would have like crowned out this situation. They would have spent hours there, even if they were getting hit. But
yeah.
nobody seems to do. And Marnus was actually trying to do that, but he kept losing wickets at the other end, so he couldn't
Yeah,
do that either.
yeah, and ultimately it looked bad because he was only able to score 2 runs on a 52 ball stay on the pitch. So when it comes out,
Yeah.
it comes out really good, but
Yeah.
it's tough to
And
emulate
when
Pujara.
when, when he took the first single, it was, I think, 30 balls or so. When he was
Yes,
in, he took his first single, and the crowd was cheering. And I remember something like that happened with Dravid as well, right? So
yes,
he hadn't scored a run in the first 50 or 52 balls, and then when he scored the run, the crowds were cheering. So he raised his bat up.
yes.
It was funny. So yeah, first of all, before we get into the first test, what are your real expectations out of this BGT? What do you think realistically happening, and who do you think will be the top players for each side? I mean, 2 or 3.
Yeah. So first, looking on the viewpoint or the mindset of the Indian team, I think they should not look too far into the future. They should just take it match by match and just set their target that they have to win this Border Gavaskar Trophy. They have to keep the trophy in India itself. So just focus on winning the series. The rest of the results will they are already almost out of our hands, so don't think about that too much. And the players that can make it happen are definitely Jasprit Bumrah is one of them. Rishabh Pant is there, and the third player, it could be anyone, but I see if Shubman Gill comes back, he's the man who can really take this team forward. So these are the three guys for me that can do it.
Yeah, I am of the similar opinion. I think KL will be a huge player in this series for me. Whenever we are touring, KL often turns out to be our best player. So I think him, Rishabh Pant, obviously he is the soul of this team right now, and Jasprit Bumrah, as you rightly said. I mean, uh, and that's not even like a shocking answer, because he simply is the best. Who from Australia are you fearing, and what are your chances? of their chances, basically? What do you think?
I think every time I see Josh Hazelwood ball against India, it's a different kind of a player that I look at.
Yeah.
He's at his menacing best against India. So Josh Hazelwood is one of them. Then I'll say Steve Smith. His records are proof of how well he plays against India. And
Mhm.
then third would be Nathan Lyon. So he somehow manages to outfox
Yeah.
the Indians on their best forte as well. So and right now the way the Indian team is playing spin, he would be ready to feast on this kind of
Yeah.
opportunity where Indian players are not so confident on how to play spin itself. I think these are the three guys that can do it for Australia. And apart from that, there is always the dark horse Travis Head that will always
Yeah.
be a pawn in India's way.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 or 4 guys who
Yeah.
can change the
Yeah.
course of this Test series.
Yeah, I think if Australia has to win this series and win this series big to take the revenge of the past two series, I think their opener needs to score a ton of runs. I really think that if Australia will win, Usman Khawaja will be right at the top. I mean, he's so important for them. He's again one of those old school left-handers like Dean Algar was for South
Yes,
Africa.
he's
They
a
will just stay
workhorse.
on the yeah. He'll just stay on the crease and keep biting the time. So I think Usman Khawaja can be a big player for them if they are going to win this. As you rightly said, Travis Head, I think he is what Rishabh Pant is to us. I mean, when Travis Head plays, he'll just take the game away from you in a session. So he won't even need more than that. So yeah, Travis Head. I think Patty Cummins will be again huge in this series. This is like he is a good captain, man, and he generally performs. So I think Pat Cummins again would be uh, one of those. But I think it can be a close series. But
Yes,
I also think there's a huge chance that Australia gave us a beating and a fair one. So because
yeah.
I've seen the morale of our team in the past few months, and starting from Sri Lanka, I mean, whenever we find ourselves in a tricky situation these days, and now that we don't even have Ashwin or Jadeja in the starting 11, I really don't know who to trust in this lineup when it comes to
Yeah,
batting.
yeah. It's just that maybe the young guys show up every time like they did in the previous 2 Border Gavaskar trophies. Like
Yeah,
Siraj was fresh in the Test cricket
yeah,
arena, and he just did a stupendous job. Guys like Vashi, Hanuma Vihari,
yeah.
even Shardul Thakur, who
See,
have not had.
the thing is, everyone trusts in Yashasvi, and they should because he's been so good, and also Shubman. But yeah, Shubman was at least there in the last Australia series. He was down under.
Yeah,
Yashasvi has only just started. When we went to South Africa, his runs weren't that crazy. But he will learn. We can't put that much pressure on this guy
yes,
when you have statesmen like Rohit and Virat in your team. So I'm still not putting that much hopes on Shubman, though he's a class act, simply because I probably have it in the back of my head that he's going to have a great series, similarly to what Virat had in 2014 when we went to Australia. But let's see how it goes with him.
yeah,
So
definitely.
going forward, we have watched the first day, which was yesterday, of the test match, and right now as we speak the second day has started, and India has started to bat. uh, how did you digest, man, that first day? I mean, everything was happening there. It was just such a roller coaster of a day.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, it was a brave decision from Jasprit Bumrah to win the toss and decide to bat. And I thought my mind,
Same mistake as Bangalore.
yeah, my mind went back directly to the Bangalore day when what happened there. And I
Yeah,
thought this is again going to be a same kind of a situation. And really,
yeah,
it did turn out to be like that. but the way we made a comeback, the way Bumrah led the side, I think he collectively lifted up the spirits of the team on his own. So that was one of the greatest comeback that I have seen. Like it's very close to, if we manage to win this match, it's very close to what we did when we lost the when we got 45-46 all out last tour, and then in the next test match we managed to turn the tables. This would be equivalent to that, because coming playing your first test in the tour at Perth and getting bundled out within 50 overs on at a score of 150, I thought Australia are going to chew on this like anything, and at least they will make a 300, so that they have a sizable lead in the first innings itself. But the way Bumrah bowled, and that reminded me of Harsha Bhogle's blog that he did just as a preview of this Border Gavaskar Trophy. And while speaking about Australia, he did mention that there are cracks in this batting side, at least in the top four. And if India can capitalize on that, then they have a way in. So that's what exactly Bumrah did, and the game got opened up really soon. And then the way Harshit Rana and Siraj also bowled, the way they supported Bumrah, they kept things tight, and it showed how Australia can falter as well. So it was a great day. Like, it's like after 70 years it might have happened that 17 wickets have fallen on Perth first day, and that too all to the fast bowlers. Great day.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, to start, it was not a ideal shot that Yashasvi played, but he learned. So the way KL Rahul was batting, man, I mean, he just looked on a different surface altogether than everyone else. He was so good. I think a really harsh decision to overrule the umpire's call, because the umpire had given him not out. There wasn't that much evidence, but yeah, whatever it is. Nitish Reddy really impressed me in the way he batted again with Rishabh Pant, and then with the tail. On your debut, you scoring a 40 of a 60 odd ball, batting with the lower order in a situation where India could easily have been all out for 90 or 100, and probably the things would have been different. But he took us to 150, which was again a very low score. But he shone through in that innings, and he has given himself a shout to play at least the next match now.
Definitely. You go on.
So I think our total was really less. We should have battled it out a lot more. But yeah, then Bumrah did Bumrah things, and we find ourselves in a crazy situation, because day 3, day 4, we used to call them the moving days. Now in the past few years, we are seeing day 2 as becoming the moving day, and yesterday it was day 1 that was the moving day of the test match. I mean, it just gets over before it gets started.
Definitely. Yeah. So, speaking of KL Rahul, he looked like he was in a zone of his own.
Yeah.
Like, it reminded me of the Lord's Test match that he played against England in 2021. He scored a brilliant century against the odds. He looked in a similar zone.
Again in South Africa as well. I mean, that pitch was
Yes.
really nasty, and the way that he scored that 100, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, so he's a different beast in Sena countries, and that's why even after repeated failures, he gets picked for the in the touring sides. So I think he again was on his way to prove that that he can do a brilliant job in a
Honestly
foreign pitch.
speaking, as we speak right now, KL is still batting, if he
Yes.
by chance ends up getting 100 or 110 in the second innings, I mean, if Rohit comes back, I'll ask Rohit to bat lower order in the fourth or the fifth spot and ask
Yes.
KL to open, because he's been doing much better as an opener than Rohit, by the way, in many years now.
Definitely. Now it seems like maybe he did sacrifice his position just for the good of the team, but he is best suited for the opening spot only because he has the technique, he has the class, and he has the temperament to play out those tough overs
And
initial.
and if Rohit wants to smash it like a 30 ball 50 in a test match, come down the order when the ball is old and go for it and smash it. Let KL do his thing, what he does best.
Yeah, he can swap places with his KL Rahul, just like he used to do in the early part of his career when before Dhoni decided to give him chance at an opening slot. He was playing number 5, number 6 only.
Yeah.
So he can do that in test matches. Like a good captain, he can make that. If he sees that it's beneficial for the team, he can also put his head down and bat at number 5.
Yeah, that's something that Rohit will have to think about. I mean,
Yes.
a lot has been said about Indian batters, and we have been constantly criticizing them as well. But do you think with Australia it's just that they were a bit rusty because they haven't played in a long time, or is Australia also not as mighty as everyone was projecting it to be?
Yeah, I think there are chinks in the armor of Australian team as well, though they did grind it out rigorously in the Sheffield Shield and tried to come up to the speed as soon as they can. But I think there are some issues with Manas as well as Usman Khwaja. And but looking at Usman Khwaja, he will bide his time and he will get over it. But for guys like Manas and even Mitch Marsh, it's slightly tricky if they are not in form. They can just prove to be a obstacle in their own way of win. And the way the Indian side is bowling right now, it becomes even more problematic for the Australian side.
Yeah.
So yes, and they now do not have the luxury of David Warner. So even
Yeah.
McSweeney is quite inexperienced and he has not faced this kind of a side before. So he will also have to prove his mettle that yes, he is capable of
Debutants
handling
usually do
himself.
good against us.
Yes.
They usually rip us. So, I mean, in England, Australia, anywhere, when we play, we're kind of like Robin Hoods. We give it to the young guy who's coming in. Yeah, you go ahead, make your century. So I
Yeah.
think McSweeney will get at least one of them if he plays for the 5 test matches.
Yeah.
But this is going to be fascinating, man, because last time as well, it was a 4 test match series. A 5 test match series is just perfect. It takes a lot out of you. And looking at what happened on day 1, so I mean, India scored around 150, and today, while we speak, Australia are all out in 105, 106, and we have around 40-45 run cushion. If we do end up batting this whole day and not lose wickets, the way we're watching right now, both Yashasvi and KL look really set, and
Yes.
both of them are known for big innings, right? So if we do end up like closing off the day, let's say 2 or 3 down, it can be like a big statement because this is the second day. It's considered the best day to bat.
Yes.
You'll probably get in Australia after the lunch on day 3, or maybe even after tea on day 3. So that means you will have a lead of at least around 400, 450. I mean, that would put a lot of pressure on Australia, and it can be difficult then to get out of that trajectory.
Yeah, definitely Australia would be trying their best today to dig them out of this hole. Although it's not a sizable lead, but when both the teams score such a low total in their first innings, it becomes significant. That 46 run cushion that India has, it has practically brought them to 110 for nil at the middle of the day 2 itself. So even if they score 100 runs more today, they would be sitting pretty at 250 for one or two by the end of the by the close of the play. So it's a very good situation to be in, but things turn session by session in Australia, so you cannot predict what's going to happen at the end of the day. Like after lunch, so lunch is already taken, something might happen before tea or like after tea. You can see a totally different side, totally Australian pacers coming up with a different motivation, and Stark spitting fire in the last session, maybe getting a reverse swing as well. So you can't predict things in India, and that's the beauty of this series, how things turn in even a session.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the amount of time that's left in this test match, right? So
Yes,
as you
yes.
said, we probably close the day by, let's say, 250. We again on day 3 score 200 on top of that. Ideal scenario, let's say even 250. So we declare at around 500.
Yeah.
And give them 10 or 12 overs to bat tomorrow. In the last 10 or 12 overs, we give them to bat. Even then, they have day 4 and day 5 left.
Yeah.
So if Marnus and Steve Smith go on to do what they do and get a 300 in partnership, you still have time to even win with a 500 total. Is the amount of time that's left. Though batting wise it looks impossible, but time wise there's just so much time left in this test match that if one team capitalizes it or both teams do, this can become a hell of a game.
Yeah, definitely. A result is inevitable in this game. We are also covered from weather side. We have clear skies, and this is kind of a summertime in Australia. So there's nothing.
Comes a draw, it will be the most fascinating result. I'm telling you, because if it's a draw, that means both the teams have fought hell for leather in this one.
Yes, definitely. But looking at the way the teams play right now with a T20 mindset, both the teams will go for a result. So Australia even won't mind chasing 500, like attempting to chase 500, even if they lose.
If they have 2 days
on the way. Yeah.
So
A result is inevitable in this match, and we just have to see how big of a total India can provide. And I think maybe this pitch is getting better to play on. Looking at the way Yashasvi and KL are batting right now, although they have their own brilliance to credit for as well. But I think this pitch is getting slightly easier to. So we have to capitalize and put a mammoth score, like in excess of 400 at least, so that we can give a challenging total for Australia to chase.
The pitch is only going to get better throughout the day. It will get better and better. In the day 3, it will remain almost the same. So we can actually take advantage and score the big runs, because now as we said, when there is no time constraint, whatever you do, you'll end up winning this match if you are in the right situation. Guys like Virat need really to spend a lot of time in the second innings. There won't be a better time for him in a less pressure situation, because Australia is already down. They're looking down and out. Your openers are doing really well at this point of time. So there is a big chance of a great inning coming up.
Yeah, definitely. It's the best situation that Virat would want to be in, to take his time. The pitch has gotten very easier, and the openers have just played out the tough overs, and the shine of the ball is gone now. So it's already the 19th over that we are looking at. So even if by the time Virat would come, the ball would be more than 30 overs old. So it's a great time to be there and just to
Yeah.
play into get into the form that you are aspiring for this tour. So this is a golden opportunity that he would not want to waste.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see India coming out on top in this one, right? Because I think right now, looking at where the game is going, I think
Hmm.
it will be really hard for Australia to come back from the dug they themselves have dig
Yeah.
for themselves.
Yeah, I would still look out for Nathan Land because he has not bowled yet, and he brings his own surprises. He's old wily fox, he's a counterpart of Ravichandran Ashwin in the
Yeah.
Australian camp, and he is always
Yeah.
thinking. Such a
Yeah.
such a witty player he is, and he might bring some surprises. But otherwise, yeah, India looks in a comfortable position, and they should build on from here.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, Divyansh, while you were talking about Ashwin, so I just thought of asking you. I thought it was really weird to keep both Ashwin and Jadeja on bench and pick Washi over them. I mean, he's good with the bat. He's done very, very well in the New Zealand series. So, yeah, form factor is there with him. But I think either Ashwin or Jadeja could have been a better pick. What do you think?
Definitely, my pick was Ashwin always
Yeah.
because Jadeja's batting form is quite iffy right now. So Ashwin has done good with both bat and ball, and he is as capable a player as in batting department
And
as
just the
Washington Sundar,
experience that he
and just
has
the
in Australia.
experience, yeah. And we would need a thinking mind like his in the second innings where the pitch has gotten easier. Then how to outfox people like Steve Smith and Manas. And Steve Smith
Yeah.
is his favorite target, Ashwin. So
Specifically for Smith, I think they could have
yeah,
gone with Ashwin because
Ashwin. And
Smith got out on the first ball duck. That's fine, but when he starts playing, we have seen how he plays. I mean,
yes, yes,
he is just devastating. He takes the time off, and if Marnus is on the opposite end, they don't even think about runs. They'll just keep keep wearing you
yes,
down, and
yes,
score in the process.
yeah.
Ashwin was needed in that kind of a situation.
Yeah, at that time, and when it's day four, Steve Smith is playing. Pitch has a little bit in it for spinners. I think Ashwin would have been the best guy to bowl at Steve
Yeah,
Smith. So
yeah,
that we have missed a trick there. Uh,
yeah.
so definitely, I think once Rohit comes back, Ashwin will make his way into the side.
Or probably it's a Gautam Gambhir decision. I mean,
Maybe, yeah.
probably the management is looking now on the other way because if you look at from their perspective, they have four guys right now in Virat, Rohit, Ashwin, and Jadeja, who are like on the other side of 30s, and
Yes,
they will have to transition them all out smoothly. And
yeah,
obviously, you can't bench either Rohit or Virat in the first test of the BGT. So probably they thought that there won't be much hue and cry if they benched Ashwin and Jadeja both and started this journey with Washi, because this is simply the third test series that Gambhir has had, and the first two he was just assessing everyone.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking at the future, that might be the thought behind this. But I
Yeah,
think when the stakes are so high, you should at least have some kind of an experience. Because I was looking at the both the lineups of the playing 11 of both these teams,
yeah,
and except McSweeney, all the guys in Australian team are 30 or 30 plus. They have a lot of experience under them. And if I look at Indian lineup, 7 out of the 11 guys are close to 25, 26, and only we
yeah,
don't have enough experience in the side. So
yeah,
sometimes you have to strike a balance. And
yeah,
if Ashwin would have replaced
yeah,
Washi, there was no harm in it,
yeah,
because Bumrah also gets the kind of
yeah.
inputs Ashwin gives while setting the field, while the game is flowing against India. His
Yeah.
inputs are valuable. So I
Yeah.
would have definitely preferred Ashwin
Yeah.
over Washi.
Yeah. And also, are you surprised they picked Jurel over Sarfaraz?
I think it was again form against the experience, because Jurel played a gritty knock of 80 when the chips were down against Australia A. It was like around, they were, half the side was already out, under 100, and then Jurel came up and he scored a gritty 80 runs knock and get the team to a respectable total. So I think that form on the Australian soil might have played a trick on Gambhir's mind, that yes, this guy is doing good here and he is confident, he's in form, so let's give him a chance. But I think once Rohit comes back, I think Jurel will lose his position,
Or
because
will it be Devdutt?
yeah, it can be Devdutt as well. But looking at Gambhir, he might give another test to, or they can both go out. If Shubman is fit, then Shubman replaces Devdutt and Rohit replaces Jurel.
Both of them go out.
Both of them go out.
Right.
So it might
Both
be the
of them
case.
go out.
Yeah.
I think Nitish Reddy stays simply because
Yes.
he can bowl as well.
Yes.
So he stays, but I think when Gill and Rohit come, both of them go out.
Yeah.
So I mean, good. It's going to be an exciting series, man.
Definitely.
And before we wrap up, guys, we have IPL auction just around the corner, and we, as you are waiting excitedly for it, and once that happens, we have the teams in place. We know what kind of a setup every team is going to have. You can be rest assured that me and Divyansh will be here and we'll be discussing all things IPL. But that's happening tomorrow, so we'll probably do that in the next video. And the way this series is going on right now, day 2 looks to be a really, really interesting one for India. So best of luck, everyone, with your match day.
Yeah, definitely enjoy the match today and tomorrow. I think this match has stole some of the limelight from the auctions, and people will be glued more to this. But I think there is no overlap, so you can switch over to the auction after the day ends tomorrow. So best of luck for whichever team you are rooting, and we will bring you a detailed analysis next week for the auctions as well as this first test match. So stay tuned in and have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.